Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're tuning in today because we are decoding a massive, fundamental paradigm shift, one that is completely reshaping digital product design right now in 2026. Seriously, if you felt like the apps and websites you use every day are suddenly, acting differently, well, you aren't imagining things. The rules have completely changed.
Okay, let's just dive right into this. For decades, we've basically been dealing with the friction of old, reactive 2D screens. You want something done, you have to click, scroll, and type to make it happen. But what happens when your interface actually thinks and moves before you even reach for a button? That is the new, highly intelligent reality we're stepping into.
All right, Section 1, the 2026 Intelligence Revolution.
So the biggest takeaway right out of the gate is honestly this. The old one-size-fits-all static layout, it's dead. Traditional flat design is officially out. Instead, we're replacing rigid pages with intelligent living ecosystems. And we're seeing this shift happen across two incredibly exciting frontiers. First, behaviorally, through proactive AI that anticipates exactly what you need. And second, environmentally, through spatial computing that breaks information right out of the screen and into your physical world.
And hey, if you think this is just some passing fad, think again. A staggering 88% of executives are currently increasing their AI budgets specifically for this kind of agentic functionality. I mean, to put that into perspective, nearly 9 out of 10 leaders are betting on this. That number completely validates the sheer momentum we're seeing. Every major company is in a literal race to build these living ecosystems.
Moving on to Section 2, from reactive to proactive, agentic UX. Let's actually explore how this builds out our first major frontier, the mind of the machine. This is where we transition from a purely reactive experience to a proactive one. So what exactly is agentic UX? Well, it's designing for autonomous AI agents that take initiative and actually complete tasks based on your high-level goals. You're no longer just clicking buttons and filling out endless forms. You are managing and guiding proactive AI assistants through permission-based oversight. Think of it this way. You're the manager, and the interface is your incredibly capable employee.
And this brilliantly illustrates the contrast. Just look at where we were compared to where we are. Back in 2024, traditional UX was all about manual entry and literally waiting around for a user to click something. Total direct manipulation. But now, in 2026, it's all about goal setting. The system is proactive. It takes action, and you simply give it permission. Ultimately, the AI performs the task, not you.
To make this whole abstract concept a bit more concrete, just imagine a banking app on your phone. Under agentic UX, the very moment you land abroad, the app autonomously switches into travel mode. It automatically surfaces your currency conversion, turns on international fraud alerts, and quietly hides your domestic bill pay options. It proactively reduces your cognitive load before you ever even have to ask. It's a real game changer.
Which brings us to Section 3, Designing for Machines, or MX for short.
Now, to make all this human-facing magic actually work, we have to completely change what happens behind the scenes. We are now designing for machines. We call this Machine Experience, or MX. We're designing digital structures specifically for AI agents. Think ChatGPT or Gemini. These agents are out there reading, interpreting, and summarizing your content way before a human ever interacts with it. And here's the kicker. If you don't design for the machine first, your brand literally becomes invisible in the AI-mediated web.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how these AI systems actually see your content. I mean, they don't care about your beautiful color palettes or fancy fonts. They rely on semantic HTML, strict hierarchies, and predictable structures. It's basically a digital model assessing relationships to build the perfect answer for the end user. In 2026, structure is absolutely the new visual design.
All right, Section 4, Spatial Computing and Depth. So now that we understand the mind of the machine, we're moving straight into the physical space of the user. Hardware like the Apple Vision Pro and immersive headsets are pushing interfaces completely off the flat 2D plane of your phone or monitor and bringing them right into your living room. The interface is quite literally your environment now. This introduces what we call vision-based interfaces, and the mechanics here are just wildly different from flat web design. We're talking about depth and layering, what designers are calling glassmorphism 2.0. Essentially, these transparent frosted glass layers that give a true sense of physical depth. Navigation surfaces actually subtly flex as you move around them. Cards feel totally fluid. And my absolute favorite feature?
gaze track interactions. You literally just look at an element, and it expands. The interface is responding directly to human gaze and physical gestures.
But, let's do a quick "so what" check here. As design leader Gaurav Shravij rightly points out, in 2026, the question is less, can we make this spatial? And more, does depth make this easier to understand or navigate? If not, flat still wins. This is such a crucial warning for us. Spatial 3D elements shouldn't just be some visual gimmick. They absolutely must be functional tools used for organizing complex, layered information.
Moving into Section 5, Multimodal and Zero UI.
So, what happens when proactive behavioral intelligence combines with spatial environmental design? Well, we arrive at Zero UI. Zero UI represents the ultimate goal of 2026 design. It's an experience where you interact with systems using voice, haptics, or gestures. The interface itself becomes practically invisible. It seamlessly responds to human senses rather than, forcing you to tap incessantly on a piece of glass.
And guys, this is happening way faster than you might think. Here's a massive metric to wake you up. By the end of 2026, a projected 40% of all global internet searches will be conducted entirely via voice. Not typed out, spoken out loud.
So the absolutely crucial point here is that we have to design for every single sense. Imagine you're walking down a really noisy street using touch on your phone. Then you step into your quiet home and seamlessly switch over to voice commands, all while the system is confirming your actions with subtle visual shifts and tactile haptic vibrations. It is one continuous, beautiful, multi-sensory flow.
Finally, Section 6, the future of interaction. This brings us right to the climax of this whole 2026 intelligence revolution, where all the puzzle pieces finally snap together. If we summarize this core paradigm shift side by side, it looks exactly like this. Back in 2024, it was all about humans manually using flat, reactive digital tools. But today, in 2026, it is all about humans managing intelligent, proactive spatial ecosystems. We have upgraded from just using tools to truly collaborating with multi-sensory partners.
But actually, here is a truly surprising fact. You'd think as these systems become more autonomous, robotic, and AI-driven, we'd want them to look pristine, right? Well, users actually crave the exact opposite in their visual design. We're seeing a massive trend toward anti-minimalism. People want messy, hand-drawn textures, organic motion curves, and those subtle imperfections. Why? Because intentional personality builds human trust. It turns out we really want our hyper-intelligent machines to feel just a little bit messy and human, just like us.
Okay, let's quickly recap our key actionable takeaways for 2026. First, adopt generative UI to restructure your layouts in real time based on user context. Second, remember to build your structural machine experience first so the AI can actually find you. Third, use spatial depth, but for sure only when it clarifies relationships. And finally, design fluid, multimodal flows that fully embrace Zero UI interactions.
Because the shift is here, and the flat, reactive web, that's totally behind us now. The only question left is, are you ready to manage an ecosystem of humans, machines, and physical spaces? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. I really hope this sparks some curiosity and leaves you eager to completely rethink your own digital products. Catch you next time.